Hello, and welcome to the LaWanda Morris Show. I'm LaWanda Morris, CEO of Black Audacity Magazine, and your host for this evening. Now, today, I'll be discussing the sudden death of Liam Payne. I'll talk about Vice President Kamala Harris's interview on Fox News. I'll also discuss the newly debuted Prada spacesuit and so much more. So, pour yourself a drink, grab a snack, and let's get into it. In breaking news, I hope we are witnessing a new hope for peace and an end to the war in Gaza. As Sinwar, the 61-year-old leader of Hamas, known as the face of evil, was killed on October the 17th after a chance encounter with the Israeli Defense Force during a military operation in Gaza. As of October the 17th, Israel has confirmed his death through DNA testing. Sinwar was reported to be the mastermind behind the October 7th attack in Israel a year later that took the lives of 1,200 civilians and the kidnapping of 250 hostages. Now, Vice President Harris spoke on the death of Sinwar and assured Americans and the world that the U.S. would be redoubling its efforts to end the war in Gaza, get the remaining hostages home, and to secure a two-state solution. U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken traveled back to Israel to discuss just that.
Mr. Secretary, your visit is another tangible example of America's unequivocal support for Israel. Hamas has shown itself to be an enemy of civilization. The massacring of young people in an outdoor music festival, the butchering of entire families, the murder of parents in front of their children, and the murder of children in front of their parents.
In other news, Tyron Scott McAlpine, a 34-year-old deaf Black man with cerebral palsy, has had all charges against him dropped nearly 3 months after he was wrongfully accused of assault of a police officer at a local convenience store and was brutally beaten by two Phoenix, Arizona police officers for so-called resisting arrest. Now, while police say that arresting officer Benjamin Harris's hand was injured after being bitten by McAlpine, it instead looks like a case of self-defense on McAlpine's part, as he was punched, restrained, and tased by the two police officers who were unknown to him, whom he could not hear because, of course, he was deaf, and who also took steps, who I should say did not take steps to de-escalate the situation. Instead, immediately upon their arrival to the scene, they resulted straight to violence and racial profiling. Now, the Arizona Police Department has maintained its stance that the assault was McAlpine's fault for not trying harder to convey to the police that he was physically disabled and deaf. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? How is someone who is deaf and physically disabled supposed to inform the police officers of their disabilities while they are being tased and beaten and punched and physically restrained? It makes no sense. The Phoenix Police Department has previously been accused of using deadly force and discriminating against Black, Hispanic, and Native American citizens by the U.S. Department of Justice, yet they still continue to claim that they are committed to reforming their department, but has refused to enter a consent decree with the Department of Justice as proof of such commitment. This is insanity. I'm just glad that this did not turn out to be another story of cops killing yet another Black person in this country. In political news, today we will be covering Vice President Kamala Harris's interview on Fox News, if you can call it an interview, with Bret Baier on October 16th. It seemed more like a debate to me, though. Another debate that VP Harris won, of course. Now, VP Harris knew it was a risk going on Fox News, who loves Donald Trump, by the way, but she wanted to introduce herself to their audience because we all know that all they tend to share about her is negativity on that channel, which is usually filled with lies. She bravely faced this challenge in order to give conservative-leaning women and swing voters a chance to hear about her and her policy plans, and to tell them in her own words why they should consider voting for her as opposed to Donald Trump. Now, to let them know that she is not President Biden. She is her own person, which her own with her own set of policies and agendas, and she would run her own administration, is what she had to let Brett Baier know. The same as all presidents before her. Take a look.
Let me be very clear. My presidency will not be a continuation of Joe Biden's presidency. And like every new president that comes into office, I will bring my life experiences, my professional experiences, and fresh and new ideas. I represent a new generation of leadership.
Now, while the point of any interview would be for VP Harris to address voter concerns and examine the policies of her campaign, Brett instead used it as a setup to constantly interrupt her, to mansplain to her, to put words in her mouth, and to ultimately embarrass himself. Brett even took it upon himself to attempt to blame every single problem of the country from the last decade or so on Harris and to focus on President Joe Biden, who is no longer the Democratic candidate on the ballot. Take a look at this clip.
Okay, the point is that we have a broken immigration system that needs to be repaired.
So your Homeland Security Secretary said that 85% of apprehensions.
I'm not finished. We have an
rough estimate of 6 million people have been released into the country. And let me just finish. I'll get to the question. I promise you.
I was beginning to answer.
But the true intentions of Baier became clear when he intentionally used the wrong clip to downplay the genuine threat that is Donald Trump. And the genuine threats that Donald Trump has been making to American citizens on multiple occasions at this point, against those who do not support him and his Project 2025 dictatorship plan, which is what it is for the country. Brett Baier has since backpedaled and tried to apologize, if you can call it that, for his mistake with showing the wrong clip during the debate. Interview. Take a look.
I heard about that. They were saying I was like threatening. I'm not threatening anybody. They're the ones doing the threatening. They do phony investigations. I've been investigated more than Alphonse Capone. He was the greatest gangster. No, it's true. No, but think of it. It's called weaponization of government. It's a terrible thing.
So,
Brett, I'm sorry, and with all due respect, that clip was not what he has been saying about the enemy within that he has repeated when he's speaking about the American people. That's not what you just showed.
Well, he was asked about that specific...
No, that's not what you just showed. In all fairness and respect to you.
That was the question that we asked him.
You didn't show that, and here's the bottom line. He has repeated it many times, and you and I both know that. And you and I both know that he has talked about turning the American military on the American people.
In other political news, adding to his campaign of lies, Donald Trump has claimed something truly comical. At an all-women town hall on October the 16th in Georgia, Trump called himself the father of IVF. See, I can't even get it out without laughing. When voters raised concerns about family planning and fertility treatments to Trump, whose Project 2025 plan would obliterate the family planning industry. Take a look at this clip.
You had mentioned before
right,
IVF.
Let's get this question because I believe that's what this is about.
Oh, I want to talk about IVF. I'm the father.
You don't hear that every day.
I'm the father of IVF, so I want to hear this question.
And to that very point, a recent Democratic-led piece of legislation in Congress to protect IVF was just blocked by Republicans. They are a joke on the issue of women's reproductive rights, and it would actually be funny if it weren't so deadly serious. And by deadly serious, I mean that women have actually died due to Donald Trump and the Republicans' abortion bans from state to state. Now, while we are speaking on Donald Trump's questionable knowledge of fertility treatments and how their abortion bans are killing women and taking away reproductive rights, let's now discuss something just as sinister. Now, an anti-abortion practices disguised as anti-abortion practices organization disguised as crisis pregnancy centers prey on women who are coping with unplanned pregnancies and have limited resources and need assistance. One such planning center in Twin Peaks, Idaho, has no legal obligation to keep the information of its clients' medical intake forms private, asking truly private questions such as about their prior pregnancies or prior abortions, about their religious affiliations, decisions of the baby's father, the name of their churches, and so much more. These clinics happen to be funded by Heartbeat International, a string of anti-abortion networks that describe themselves as a religious ministry. While they do offer some counseling, the very mechanics of this clinic are designed to make it so that the women no longer have the option to abort the pregnancy. You see, the long wait times between appointments and multiple unnecessary procedures such as ultrasounds and meetings push women past that 6-week abortion window. Wow, this is incredible. And unfortunately, this is the danger with such unregulated so-called pregnancy clinics that prey on women who have limited options and limited resources. They push lies and misinformation and delay tactics until the woman has no choice but to continue with the pregnancy, or until they have to spend more money that they probably don't even have to seek care in another state. And then once the baby is born, what happens? Crickets. None of them are anywhere to be found to try to help take care of this baby they just forced a woman to have, to try to raise it, to send it to college, to feed it, to keep the lights on so it can read its homework projects. They're nowhere to be found when it comes to actually raising and rearing children. They just want to control women. Let's be very clear. That's what these abortion bans are all about. Now, in some sad celebrity news, former One Direction member Liam Payne has tragically died at the age of 31 at his hotel in Buenos Aires, Argentina. Now, the beloved childhood pop star, British singer, songwriter, was visiting his friend and former bandmate while he was on tour in Argentina. Payne had previously been open about his struggles with addiction, and on October the 16th, a 911 call was made by an employee and manager of the hotel where he was staying to police, saying that a guest under the influence of drugs or alcohol may do something life-threatening. And minutes later, Payne was found by the police having fallen from his third-story balcony. Payne's death is being investigated as suspicious by officials, but on Wednesday, we lost someone who was a part of so many people's childhood memories, and we send our condolences to his family and to his friends. And finally, in fashion news, we are witnessing something that has not happened since 1961, when JFK was president. NASA is unveiling a new spacesuit created by a collaboration with Axiom Space and Prada. Yes, that's right, Prada. This new suit, titled the Axiom Extra Vehicular Mobility Unit, if I can get all of that out, was specially produced for the upcoming Artemis 3 mission with biometric monitoring is what the suit has. It has lights, HD cameras, advanced 4G LTE communications, and much, much more. It is the full package, you all. Axiom Space provided the science, and Prada provided advanced sewing techniques and customized materials for the comfort and the safety of the astronauts. And then to top it all off, it could mark the first mission with a woman to walk on the moon, you guys, in style, Prada style, that is. Now, while Prada is headed for the stars, Guess is focusing on its efforts here on Earth. Guess has launched a closed recycling program with the textile waste management platform called Super Circle. Now, the program allows customers to request shipping labels online and then send in any brand, doesn't matter the brand, of worn clothing, which is sent to SuperCycle to be sorted, processed, and disassembled for reuse. And customers are given a credit toward their future purchases in return. This is only one of the programs that Guess runs to reduce their impact on the environment, and they plan to do even more by the year 2025. This is so awesome all the way around. Kudos to you, Guess and Super Circle. This is wonderful, wonderful news. Well, that's all for now. I hope you have enjoyed today's segment of the LaWanda Morris Show. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like, and turn on those notifications so that you can see more Black Audacity Magazine YouTube content like the LaWanda Morris Show show up in your feed. I'm LaWanda Morris, and we are unapologetically and unambiguously Black Audacity. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you back here next week. Please stick around for a brief word from our sponsor. Thank you so much to our sponsor, Black Skin Beauty. Black Skin Beauty is that black don't crack kind of beauty, y'all, that we all want, and now that we all can have with Black Skin Beauty's new youthful regimen. Black Skin Beauty can help you get your skin all the way together. Black Skin Beauty offers a revolutionary 3-step youthful skin regimen to help your skin look and feel younger than ever before. Check out their website at www.blackskinbeauty.com. That's BLKSKNBEAUTY.com to enter for a chance to win free products and to get 10% off. Black Skin Beauty, that black don't crack kind of beauty. Check them out on Instagram today at Black Skin Beauty.